Welcome back to the North American semifinals in Game 3 between Team Liquid and TSM. And gentlemen, as always, before we get into the game, I'm going to ask you what you want the teams to do. And Freak, coming to you first, I have a feeling I know what you're going to say on the side of Team Liquid.
Give me an A.
A.
Give me a Z.
Z.
Give me an I.
I.
Give me an R.
What? R. I got you.
Yeah. Where's the, like, please,
Azir,
please.
yeah.
You were telling me the stat, TSM are 6-0 this split on Azir. Team Liquid are 5-0 on Azir this split. Especially if you just look at the last game, like, it's a run-at-you engage comp, which is really easily disengaged by Azir's ultimate. Like, they're even counterpicking themselves now, which is amazing for Team Liquid here. So, yes, I want to see that champion come out or be banned, but it needs to show up on Team Liquid's side of champion select in one of those two boxes at some point here. I think it's a mandatory thing. Bjergsen's been highest damage dealt in the game in both games here. He is crushing it on Azir, and he's not even getting help. He's just straight up beating Phoenix and beating Team Liquid nearly single-handedly. So, I mean, it's big props to Bjergsen, but you really got to see him test on something else.
And I want to take like a step back and look at Azir in the context of this matchup in the entire split. Because when these guys have played each other, they played each other 4 times. Azir's been picked every time, and Azir's always been victorious. Yep. So Azir in this matchup is 4-0. And a large part of that is when you look at these two teams clash, they're so close in terms of map movements and how they're getting around. The game time has always been above 40 minutes. We've had 2 in the 40-minute range, and today we've had 2 that are over 50 minutes. Azir is definitely online and is an incredible hyper carry because of his range. So Azir in this matchup, I think, is just even more important because of how these teams are playing it out and their styles.
Yeah, I think beyond that, looking at Dominate, as mentioned before, to really keep the team together, he's telling his teammates, are you guys ready to play 5 games? Because that's what we're going to have to do. And it's all going to start with him being the leader of the team in the shot calls. You know, on the side of TSM, conventional wisdom says, don't change anything. You've won 2 games, you know, make Team Liquid make the change. And even then, you still have 2 games of safety on the backside.
Yeah, but if TL does make a change, do not be afraid to pivot and meet them or at least go around them. If they decide to pick the Azir, don't take their place and pick the other composition. Come at them with a different strategy that you think will actually work out. So don't just trade places.
Probably, like poke or heavy assassination are the 2 ways you typically play against Azir. I don't think you really just play other mid-range mages and get outplayed at your own game. I want like, you know, the AP Cog, the Varus, or just a straight up like Diana or Kassadin pick, like, you know, but find a heavy pivot. And in fact, you know, the Diana that got permaban against Bjergsen, you know, it's available now if you have that switch around on you.
All right, well, the players are ready to go as we send it over to the casters for the play-by-play. Dominate shares Team Liquid strategy for success.
I think we just need to focus on diversifying our playbook, really. Just having different things that we can pull out, because we did have like a couple strategies that we were using in LCS, but there's many other strategies out there that like China and Korea are using. And I think that if we're able to adapt to those styles and we can play different metas, then we'll be able to really abuse other teams in best of 5s, because no matter what they do, we'll have a counter.
So we were looking for. We have to see that diversity right now from Team Liquid.
Hey, hopefully it happens in these upcoming games, because seeing what they're picking is still the same thing they've been going with throughout the year. They're not switching to what he says in the other regions and their metas. And that's something I think maybe Fnatic is only doing. Random picks in the lanes that they know how to use. They're not even worrying about the meta. I think more teams need to just do that, guys. Just do that. Don't worry about it. Play what you want to play.
Let's do it.
See if Team Liquid can do it this time. It is game point coming in here for the semifinals. Going to be a very difficult game for Liquid. Now the pressure is on to Liquid. Statistically, Team Solo Mid has only 2 losses in playoff series. They have 11 wins, and those 2 losses were to Cloud9 at the peak of their game.
Yeah, TSM never lost a playoff series to a team not named Cloud9.
That's right.
They don't want to start that today, that's for sure. Team Liquid, though, backs against the wall, need 3 consecutive victories. And what will they actually change in the pick ban phase here?
A lot of focus on the jungle so far. There's all 3 of the main trio. Rek'Sai, of course, still also an early option for them.
Turns us into Rek'Sai, Gragas, Nunu, Evelynn, kind of the next tier of junglers.
Gragas picked the Santorin, loves to go back to, or did towards the end of the split we saw.
It's funny that there's so much focus on the jungle actually in the ban phase, since all these games have come down to the super late game team fight.
Janna, once again. So Janna finds all 3 games on the ban list. Gragas is taken away from Santorin right there. Could have been taken away from Dominate as well. Works both ways.
Santorin wasn't hiding his poker face very well there. He's like, they took Gragas.
It got me.
Much of a secret.
Smiling ear to ear. The Alistar makes it through once again. Seems like Janna is the support to ban out through these games.
Yeah.
And the Maokai for Dyrus to keep it safe.
Yeah, so they ban out the Janna for her disengage. Yet Azir again going to second round here and could easily be picked up by Team Liquid. Again, the same initiation of the Maokai and Alistar here. Probably going to look for some speed boost for TSM. How much you want to bet?
Hey!
Well, okay. Well,
Zero
too late.
fake dollars.
I'm too slow.
Fine.
All right, what about this bet? That
One
said
Azir pick.
That Rek'Sai will be the pickup for TSM's jungle.
It's likely, that's for sure.
Evelyn.
Okay.
But not that we've seen Santorin play that very much. I think you're right. Rek'Sai
If I
would
win,
probably
you
be the
trim
lighter.
your beard.
No!
Actually,
That's-
I shaved
I'd
an
rather
S
give you
into
money.
the side.
All right, what do we have? 30 seconds left. Team Solo Mid. This could be game point. This is game point for them. The choice is definitely trying to focus on that. They've had very controlling games, like Zyrene said, going past the 50-minute mark this time. Usually on average 40 minutes between these teams. So Team Solo Mid knows that's going to happen again. What can they use against Phoenix's Azir for that?
Well, man, it's just so again. It's not even just the Azir. Yes, there's a lot of
Right.
focus on the
Absolutely.
There's a lot of focus on the Azir because of all the great stats that they talked about on the desk. But on top of the Azir disengage, they also have Braum disengage. All right, fine. I'll shave my beard. Question.
Got
I don't
it.
have
There
one.
you
So,
go.
all right, I'll grow one out and I'll let you shave an R into it. Anyways, it's the Azir disengage comboed with the Braum and Gragas. So even though it's a Sivir buffed up team, there's still so much that TSM would have to navigate around to get to the Vayne, who's going to be tumbling around, popping in and out of invisibility as well.
Yeah, Piglet goes back to an old favorite. Not something he's had success with during the summer split, though. He actually lost a couple of times on it. His least successful AD carry on the split. But
his favorite.
I feel like this is like do we pull something out? Do we try it? The whole team has to agree on this. So you know that Liquid is trying to get this through and have Piglet carry the game with Phoenix.
I really wonder what was going on with the team when they decided to let Azir fall so far in the draft in all of their first two games. But clearly, whatever strategy that was, they have kind of abandoned that. They are now taking a couple of TSM's most successful picks from the first two games and playing them against TSM. Braum and Azir, as Kobe was just mentioning, for all of their disengaged potential, are now being picked into what TSM is pulling as an engaged team. So this will be a real test of execution because TSM is going farther and farther in on the engage, whereas Team Liquid is now deciding for some disengage.
Yeah. Plus, I like that Team Liquid are putting their own twist on it with the Vayne for Piglet.
Yeah.
I'm very curious what they will do in the early lane swap scenarios to try and get Piglet ahead on the Vayne and get him to be a split pushing presence, get him to that level 6 and to his early Blade of the Ruin King. The other thing is, though, Dyrus had definitely much better teleports than Quas in the previous game. He had a lot better coordination with the rest of his team. Now Quas is going to be on the point-and-click Nautilus.
See if they can get these ganks in, make them work, dominate, maybe a little more aggressive on the Rek'Sai, the Gragas in the early game.
See, I just say it, and I think that you think that I won.
It's just imprinted now. Team Solo Mid running a very similar comp besides the Elise in the jungle and the Gnar in the top lane. This was just like the comp they ran against Gravity in their last game victory. We'll see if it works for them once again, trying to keep things nice and consistent for themselves. The coaches possibly one last hug shake to get themselves to the back here of Team Solo Mid.
Talk about consistency.
There you go.
It's the least consistent hug of the bunch. That was more of just a back pat.
The hover hand. It's getting more awkward.
It's tense now because it's too.
Peter's like, yeah, we'll hug later. The champs are locked in, so head over to Twitter and update your series picks. Tweet hashtag TLWin or hashtag TSMWin. We'll update the fan vote in just a bit as we get onto the Rift. Our semi-final matchup, the second one of the week coming in here. Third game, and it's possibly game point if Team Solo Mid can take it. Liquid trying to keep themselves in this series. We're on the Rift. Team Liquid now on the blue side. TSM on the red. A lot of, say, endurance, not endurance, but a lot of what these guys had coming into the game. That mental prowess, the physical prowess now wearing down. and who can continue to make the correct calls. If anybody falls silent, silence equals chaos amongst the team. Hopefully everybody stays a chatterbox and the calls are good. Clear calls.
You not only have to be a strong mechanical team, but a strong mental team to come back from a 2-0 series deficit. You have to outplay and also recover mentally from your previous 2 defeats. Being on comfortable champions, though, is the start of that. Phoenix on Azir and Piglet on Vayne are 2 of their favorites. So that is a start. I do credit Peter for picking those champions in this situation just to give them the best chance of comfort as well as goodness.
Yeah, I hope that they stay in this 2 versus 2, bottom 2, because there's so much potential for great Piglet plays against Sivir and against Alistar. Vayne has so many tools that she can use to outplay these champions with well-timed condemns as well as tumbles. See if he can make it happen. Because Santorin on the Evelynn will be a constant threat, and it makes it more difficult to pressure a long lane.
He's already got 1 CS. Huge lead for Piglet. That's good.
He's a monster.
Ward out.
Looks like Bjergsen will this time be the one getting the Sand Soldier zone there from Phoenix. Clever. Not enough. He raises the new one.
Yeah.
The other one times out.
He was trying to get the basically benefit from Darius' saplings, but Bjergsen gets the very quick 3 small raptors. Therefore, Bjergsen will hit level 2 early on in this lane. I wonder if there will be a little bit more farm denial in this matchup. It's been very farm heavy. Both Bjergsen and Phoenix averaging 90 or more CS at 10 in the first 2 games. Bjergsen also had 500 CS last game on Azir, so some tremendous farm matchup here. Bjergsen,
It's okay.
Bjergsen missed 3 from the first wave.
He got those raptors though, so
Yeah,
haha, perfect CS.
still counts.
Good to go. Teleports. Gonna be equally used here to the top lane. Perfect. Got him. 2.5 minutes in. We'll see how this matches up. A nice little walk to the side there. Almost telegraphed. Phoenix didn't have any minions in front of him. Bjergsen was able to kind of just curve it around and start off that damage. Much more aggression than we've seen in the mid lane from these two. Maybe some kill potential as well.
I'm really looking at the junglers as well, because this is ideal for them. They are standard lanes. Both these lanes are going to fight quite a... Oh, here we go. There's jungle action already. Santorin does have the Wolf's Smite. So the Spirit will see Dominate come in for this steal. And you do not want to commit to that in standard lane setups. Whoa, Bjergsen actually is recalling, faking a recall maybe. No, he actually completes it. Yeah. During an invade, he recalls. But, you know, Phoenix showing in lane, long ways away. Santorin will be just fine.
Interesting. Even on the strong side as well. Himself some defense there. They didn't decide to go in and get any kills. Dominates in, dominates out, and everything stays as normal here for the beginning of the game. Nobody has a real lead. Quas doing a good job at pushing around Darius in the top lane. A little bit of an advantage.
I would have a heart attack if my mid laner was recalling while I'm getting invaded. But
It was fine.
yeah, it was fine. Everything turned out fine.
Absolutely
Phoenix
fine.
was just sitting in mid lane. They didn't have vision of Bjergsen recalling is the key there.
Yeah.
No vision means they don't make a play on it.
You've heard the analyst Death say it. We mentioned it a few times. These two gentlemen are undefeated on Azir. Bjergsen just putting 2 more games in that record. And now Phoenix to try his hand, looking to not get his first loss. Definitely going to be a tough game as those two, as I said, already more aggressive than the previous 2. Down to the bot lane, TSM keeping the wave pushed up. Pretty much doing this consistently throughout the games, and even easier against Piglet's Vayne here in this game. Good little trade. Nope, not a good trade.
What a boomerang there. Uh-oh, he got the slow. What a Winter's Bite.
Fade in, concussive
Here comes
blows. Already
Gragas.
still 2 shots off. That Ignite is down early. They know that's the aggression to get into the fight. That Ignite came down very early without Dominate being able to come around the side. Now to Quas in the top side. Very hard to ward against an Evelynn in this one. Also not going to pay off in a kill, but aggression from top to bottom.
I'm not sure why special attack for
All
that
he
auto
had to
attack.
do was wait another half a
Well,
second.
Turtle
there.
was still going to be able to flash away at the very last second of his spell shield, but I mean,
But there's
timing was
literally
off.
no reason to do that auto attack.
I mean, you want to give an old friend some mana, right?
Pat him up, give him a pat on the
Yeah.
back as he leaves.
Here you go, bud.
Oh, okay, so there is a reason, because you still get your auto attack damage.
True.
If he was at like 50 HP or something, or
There
if
you
50 HP would get the kill, then there is a reason.
like pink ward game from Santorin being pushed a bit farther into the side of Team Liquid's jungle. He can make sure he's got some easy in and outs as Eve and clear any of the wards that may see him after taking down a camp. Sees this one. He's going to be able to take that down. So, bit of aggression, back and forth. Summoner's blown in the bot lane, but still no kills. Everybody playing very safe with a little bit of aggression that they're putting into the game. Bjergsen very low now. Phoenix also taking a bit of damage here. Ignite on the side of Bjergsen for that kill pressure. And cleanse for Phoenix. He may be able to cleanse a charm here if he goes in. It's going to be the Orb of Deception that comes out. Dominate under the turret.
Woo! He hit the charm, I think, just as he got the second spear rush there.
Yeah. Ooh, risky game Bjergsen was playing there.
Yep.
He knew he was going to hit level 6 if he could clear the wave, which is the only reason I think he extended that far to clear that wave. Did get level 6 and was able to Spirit Rush away and didn't end up burning summoner spells either. So ultimately a measured risk there.
Yeah. It was a good look from Dominate, though, and a good idea to go for that gank. Just Bjergsen was able to outplay.
Probably would have been a kill if he still popped people up, you know. Those Azir changes coming into play a little bit there, but Dominate still trying to finalize the kill. Now Piglet and Xpecial have a little bit of time to get damage back on the turret. Lustboy has gone back and set up some defensive wards for the team. They're not going to get too much out of it. 48-41, one of the closer lanes we've seen between the duos and the tops actually this game, all throughout.
And that was with Visit down bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
Dominate.
Get a Skirmisher Saber Santorin this game. Haven't really seen diversity too much in the jungle items lately. He feels that's going to be the right choice as they keep moving on. 6s are being hit across the board. Gonna have to watch for the ults.
Now, something that's consistently in favor of Team Liquid have been more pink wards out earlier in the game for Team Liquid than TSM. And it has given them that comfort and that defensive vision. This time around, TSM did get have gotten one up, but it's really deep, and Dominate finds it super early, so that's an offensive one. The big thing about the defensive ones is that they're so easy to defend, and you can collapse very quickly. But that one picked up quickly.
Yeah, with the pink wards that have been consistent, that's also one of the reasons the Team Liquid has won the early and mid game in both of these matchups. Both of the wins the Team Solo Mid has picked up thus far have been due to superior team fighting.
Yeah.
This one, though, with the Azir and a lot of crowd control on the side of Team Liquid, still bringing a decent team fight punch in this one.
The dive.
Hoping to change the story here.
Quite telegraphed,
pull
giving
back.
time for the TP here.
5 men, though?
This is going to be difficult if they want it. Dyrus takes first tank on this one. Xpecial and Dyrus go down at the same time. A quick trade for kills. Lustboy's the next target. Piglet can't get him. It's the heal coming in. That's going to be a big... Oh, he does get the kill in. I was going to see a big save if Xpecial was able to get out of that. Santorin's being chased down now. 2 for 2 in the overall fight. And Santorin's able to mission impossible this one and get himself to safety. They both choose different paths.
He's not out of it yet.
He's not recalling.
Oh, does he go over the wall? Oh my God! Dominate is God. Santorin not moving out. Couldn't really place the ward to do anything.
Process of elimination. He must be there. We walked everywhere else. But to body slam into a stealth target is pretty awesome.
Yeah, to go around that small wall by the turret, Santorin would give up the game. So very good tracking there by Dominate.
Yeah.
So
Either way,
they corralled him.
TSM preempted that dive a little early. Alistair and Eve are both tremendous turret divers at level 6, but they both ended up diving at level 5 right there. The dive goes a little bit sideways. Team Liquid had a very slow collapse down from the mid lane, but decided to do so nonetheless, and they're the ones that come out with the edge again in the early game.
Nicely done. Did take TSM a bit of time to coordinate that one. You saw Lustboy walking in, walk through a few wards. That teleport really helping to stave off the worst of the situation. A little bit of a back and forth here in the top lane. Nobody's really going to come out the better, I'd say. Maybe on the monobar. Just back and forth.
I do have to touch on the mid lane matchup once again because we just crested the 10-minute mark, and the CS is much lower in this game than it was in the first 2. So the tempo has definitely been picked up from a harassment standpoint. Couple early recalls by Bjergsen as well because they were trading so heavily. A lot of CS being forfeited in that lane to make other plays.
Yeah, you mentioned how good both those mid laners are at attaining CS for themselves. They've also been some of the best in the league at keeping the CS of their opponents down. Team Liquid with a rotation over to Dragon, though. Should be able to get this one scot-free.
Pretty easy. Yeah. Both mid laners usually 8 to 9 CS up on their opposing. When you guys are playing against, when these two play against each other, only one's gonna have that lead. Bjergsen right now a little bit stronger this time, as Dyrus and Quas still at it in the top lane. No teleports there, so they're happy to just be taking swings at each other. They have rewards to do it.
Yeah. And once again, comes the rotation. TSM sending Turtle up top on the Sivir. They should be able to melt that wave really quickly. And that we might see our first 2 turrets go down as they trade, with the Piglet and Specialist staying down bottom. Quas is sticking around. He's trying to clear the wave so that Turtle can't take it. Doing a pretty good job as well on that beefy Nautilus.
Piglet having a CS advantage is also pretty critical, and he can get Blade of the Ruin King, especially from an AD carry dual perspective. While Turtle's been caught out already in a few games trying to get some sidewave farm, that just becomes even more dangerous against a Vayne. Vayne can run down and duel pretty much any other AD carry.
Already to the Morello Namicon, and Team Solo mid looking like they can get themselves into the jungle here and try for some dangerous things. Lustboy just going to go for some forward wards, make sure they have an eye on wherever Dominate is.
First item Aegis for Dyrus on Malcolm.
Good eye.
No Catalyst, no mana for the Frozen Heart. He can actually not hold his ultimate on for very long, but the aura will be massive for the heavily magic damage team that Team Liquid will be in the mid game. Team Solomon has to get a Dragon team fight to make that item at all worth it, and it has to be soon. There's not even a Dragon up.
That's very true. If Bjergsen or anyone else on TSM is able to pick off Piglet, then that will really turn the tides. Everyone already having that magic resist.
Hopefully, he can use that ultimate to keep himself alive longer than it looks right now with the items in his inventory. Quas just on the backside for any engage coming in. Bjergsen, however, playing it safe in that mid lane. We're going to see Piglet going down to the bottom. Keep that free farm to himself now.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of a lead. That should be cleaned up by Wild Turtle soon. Turtle still can bring that Sivir ultimate to disengage TSM.
Special actually going up there to soak experience, even though they already had a decent amount of vision. Did that get him levels? No, he was already 7. All right, TSM once again though, all sending every single resource down to the bottom side of the map. They give up more free farm to Piglet, and he's gonna have alone time with the turret, but TSM looking to make a play in the red side jungle here of Team Liquid. Nobody comes to defend, so there will be no Team Liquid casualties, and they just trade once again.
They're just okay with having Piglet get these turrets and split push going on Vayne. Also, he's getting the solo XP for these turrets, so Piglet getting very, very farmed in comparison to others. Most gold in the game, nearing 5,000 at this point, just a hair ahead of Bjergsen.
He's gonna shove back towards Team Liquid territory as well.
Yep, and that Blade of the Ruin King's finished, so now he can come to the bot lane, start soaking up that, and a free early game for a Vayne. Quite nice. Piglet's very happy with the situation he's in right now. Same thing happened for Turtle. You're gonna get a good effect out of him. Bit of a fight in the mid lane. Ult for the slide on Phoenix. Phoenix low on mana though, so they can't afford to do too much more.
I think Bjergsen got mind gamed a little bit right there. Phoenix did not have enough mana. After that E, forces a recall because he burned his ultimate that quick.
Yeah, missed his 2 skill shots and then wanted to get off screen.
Just reminiscing about the power he did. He's like, well, I killed someone when I did this. I don't want to die. Still has his ignite and flash up, so if anything comes of an engage, he can still use those to get out safely or get a kill in himself. Turtle's going to start cleaning up the Scuttle Crab for the team. Looks like everybody takes a break after that quick engage. 1 minute 50 on the Dragon. Nobody wants to use their ult all willy-nilly just now, so they're going to have to be carousel. That's actually very nice. A minute and a half out gives Phoenix some time to go heal if they allow him. Looks like he is going to try to get back.
Yeah. Just going to call Dominate over to hold it, but it was a good exchange there for Bjergsen, landing the charm and then getting out before the counterattack came in. Not much pressure that they can really, not much they can do with that pressure though. As you said, plenty of time for Phoenix to go back and heal. Cost him anything.
Like Team Solo mid is taking it upon themselves to win the Ward War here towards the bottom now that Dragon's coming back up. See if these come in a little late for Team Liquid. The one they place is going to be a good one, but it might cost Xpecial his life. That pink ward for a regular vision is not going to be worth on that one.
Yep. Bjergsen first to level 11 and didn't even have to use his ultimate to grab that kill.
Yeah.
That is pretty huge.
So that's going to be turning the tides here for this dragon fight as TSM set up the vision.
The catches begin. These are the small things that are shifting each of the 3 games so far. One small catch here and there.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
They see him cancel. They're going to wrap around right behind him.
They're on a mission.
This is a post-level 6 Alistar as well.
I feel like TSM might be a little suspicious after that one, even though it was total coincidence.
He's just
He was
hovering on
baiting
a
them
ward.
into a wraparound or something.
Well, he did not extend past the turret. The teleport is available, so definitely would be a dangerous move.
That's the teleport that got TSM a huge lead last time, just behind the red. And that ward is being placed very early by the team still. Doesn't look like they get to use it this time. Just the pressure for Dragon. They were looking to see if they could pick off Piglet, but no chance there. This, however, is Piglet's first time really with the team going for an engage. He's been in the lane by himself. See how big he got.
A couple things about this fight. The locket advantage could be critical for Darius, but because he doesn't have a mana item, he pretty much can only do one full rotation of spells. Maokai's a very mana-heavy champion. From there, both top laners have teleport. Team Liquid has some of the zone control because they are there first with Azir, but it's a very important priority for both of these teams. TSM doesn't want to have to walk into the Azir, so they're prepping back and forth with the turret and the dragon.
This would be very tough. They're putting themselves in a choke point here. Emperor's Divide would clean TSM out of that area, but still give them the turret easily. Good movement by Quas, coming back around, and by Xpecial to make sure that turret doesn't go down. Now they've had to kind of give up position on Dragon. We'll see how this works.
Some more good poke landed by Phoenix. Trying to chip him down. Lesboya on duty with the heals though. That's fine. I'm really curious about that mid lane minion wave because they're just trading off clearing it. Turtle's the one for TSM clearing it though, so Sivir would have to walk down if he wanted to join and the fight broke out.
Yeah, already positioning himself somewhat. Get these wards for a minion wave if it comes in. Really keep my eye on Dominate's ultimate here. Lustboy as well for a bit of an engage after on the hunt, but Dominate's explosive cast could really get a good separation on somebody like Santorin. Bjergsen out of the fight. Everybody playing super safe right now. Really no mistakes to be made. That's the only way this fight's going to start. I don't think anybody's engaging on their own accord here.
Well, it does look like Santorin's kind of positioned for a flank, but he has to quickly retreat because he walked over a pink ward.
Yeah, you really got to be careful about flanking on Vayne. She will be able to solo.
Piglet, he is hovering in that bottom brush, making sure that Santorin doesn't come back.
Yeah, Santorin, that pink ward right there is the whole reason this happened and the whole reason TSM gave up that dragon. Lucky for Santorin, though, that he was able to leave instead of walking by that pink ward when Team Liquid were around to capitalize. If Quas had hooked him in, that would have been even worse for TSM.
Really nice back and forth there.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not even that bad because they trade a turret for that dragon. And it's only number 2. Not that crucial. They'd like to have the 6%, but they can wait another round for it.
Really smart play back and forth, actually. The pink ward prep, also the attempted flank, also TSM's adaptation once their flank failed. All of it just quite well played.
Where do we go from here? All the wards are in the bot. Play looks like it's going to start hovering towards the top as the camps spawn, and that minion wave gets pushed up. So we'll see Lustboy, the rest of the team, actually double sightstone for both sides to get a plethora of wards wherever the action is going to happen. 28 seconds on to Baron. You can bet your butt they're going to start being placed around that area. Just core items for the AD carries. Turtle still got that Infinity Edge to Piglet's Blade of the Rune King. Still have not seen them get to go off yet in these fights.
Yeah, speaking of the items too.
QSS.
Moving that Santorin does go with a Rylai's Crystal Scepter on Evelynn because it works really well when trying to kill Vayne. He's going to have the Sivir speed boost already, and the Rylai's slow with Evelynn is constant. So, definitely very annoying for the Vayne player.
Piglet's trying to limit the annoyance as much as possible. Second item, QSS.
Yeah.
His damage is going to be minimal. This actually pushes, in my opinion, Team Liquid into a bit more of a farm off here in the mid game.
Yeah.
This is the smallest mid-game advantage Team Liquid has had so far in the series. So they're really banking on these late-game team fights coming through, I think.
Yeah, definitely Bjergsen would have to look at the inventory and check too. He has to be careful now because he's going to be looking for the picks on Piglet and should be expecting the cleanse from Quicksilver now on his Charm.
We'll have to see. I'm putting a timer on Phoenix, the 40-minute Phoenix fight, where he comes in with Azir and just makes a play as usual from Liquid's side. Doesn't look like TSM is positioning themselves in any sort for that to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Phoenix made it happen regardless. Back and forth, Busboy tries to win the ward war just under the turret in that choke point. Looks like that'd give them a pretty good engage if Team Liquid were able to walk up. Very safe play by both teams. TSM feeling good about this series already. They locked this in. That's enough championship points for Worlds. They have this game win on their mind. They're not really worried at this point.
Yeah, and so far in this game, Team Liquid has actually done a really good job preparing against the Evelynn. They have pink ward coverage on one side, and the only place where they had a gap of pink wards is where Santorin was going to approach from, so they pulled down towards that spot and made him fall back. They have incredibly high awareness of how Evelynn can attack them, and it's really making it difficult on Santorin to do anything productive.
Decide to go here. Still just camps for Santorin. Needs to get himself farmed up. Pretty tied with Dominate at this point. Both junglers pretty much banned out off that Nidalee this game. Banned from TSM on their side. And now forced on to Dominate Gragas and Santorin's Eve. And we saw Santorin, a little chuckle when the Gragas was taken away. He probably expected to be playing that this game. So having to pull out the Eve, slowing him down a bit.
Yeah, I think that's both of their go-to.
Right? That Dominate has, I think it was like 7 and 7, Rek'Sai on Spring and on the summer play, so he always has that to fall back to as well. I guess everybody does. You junglers in your pools. Nobody even targets it anymore.
Jat's champ pool is Udyr.
Udyr.
Hey man,
Used to be Trundle.
if it's not broke, don't fix it. No one ever bans it.
It's a great reason.
Whenever we're discussing the merits of some junglers, Jat's like, yeah, but Udyr could do this.
Yeah, I'd rather just play Udyr at the end of the day, or Mumu. This is why I'm not a professional player.
Those metas have changed.
Man, it's not even just the pink ward coverage here from Team Liquid, though. It's a very complete vision coverage that they have. Plenty of green wards inside the camps as well. So when either buff is taken, they get vision on them.
Yeah.
1 minute and 20 seconds. They might shift a lot of that vision because a lot of the wards are placed up on the top side right now. They might begin shifting that down towards the dragon to prep for number 3. So this Krug was actually taken too early for the dragon fight. TSM will have control of it, but the speed shrine will expire by the time dragon comes up. So they won't get that extra team fight power of having the speed boost, which is extremely important during those mid-game team fights.
Especially if you're TSM, you can go even faster. Go super fast. No team has a chance to get away. They do have specials, Braum, Disengage. We've been seeing a lot from supports lately as Disengage, Janna on the ban list, all 3 games. These are the supports we've been getting. Coming up on 25 minutes, a very close game. Once again, 3-3. Team Liquid trying to get TSM to march to the beat of their drum of pushing down mid lane. We just saw this happen on the other side. TSM was pushing mid. They got the turret. Liquid got the dragon. We'll see if it can happen again, where Liquid gets the turret and TSM gets the dragon.
This time Liquid doesn't have pink ward coverage on the flank of Evelynn, so they have to be very careful about the way they position themselves. Dyrus as well with teleport up. No home guard though, so he can't get a great initiation. I'd like to see a home guard teleport Maokai with an Eve for a flank, but it's not very likely given the current situation.
There is still a really good ward for him to teleport in on, up behind on the ledge.
Or right in the middle of the pit, how about?
He dives through Santorin, making sure that he can't get ulted and then hit up by the rest of team solo mid. Piglet's in a good spot, cleanses off the exhaust, has only Dyrus to shoot now, Lustboy as well. just defense right now from Team Solo Mid. They have not given Piglet enough targets to hit. Dominate could get taken down here, and Team Liquid cannot finalize the kills. A flash away from Phoenix. There's the fight. It's not 40 minutes. It's not going to be enough for now. Quas goes down. How is TSM still alive? The entire team on the Iron Lung right now. A long-range twisted advance caught on the flash of Piglet, and the ace for Team Solo Mid.
Clean ace. Whoa, the emphasis on team fighting there for TSM pays off yet again. Finally pull the trigger there.
Yeah.
Santorin goes straight for Piglet. He tumbles backwards, and while the rest of TSM just melt Special
Right.
there. Oh.
Yeah, that was such
see
a
this
crazy
again.
fight. I'll touch on the itemization after because that was a huge thing about this fight. Phoenix and Piglet were not really optimizing at all for damage here. The start of the fight is all right. Very, very crowded in. Dyrus gets a good initiation in at the start with Maokai. And honestly, Piglet and Phoenix are getting a lot of DPS off, but their DPS isn't that high.
And then after they've already taken down Braum, the re-engage here onto Dominate. Bjergsen and Dyrus combining for that. Turtle flashes the initial move from Phoenix, and then when he goes in for the ultimate, you can see how much that flash meant. He survived on 100 HP.
He also dodged out on probably a Riptide that would have killed him. He almost ran into it. Just great piece of mind.
But he's been rooted already.
Dyrus still had his flash for that one. The items are still very similar to what they were before that last fight. I feel like Piglet lost his way in this game. The QSS didn't do much, and then he has a Vam Scepter and the component of what could be a Phantom Dancer or a Static Shift. He just does not have optimized items at all. He's got components of 3 different ones. Also, Phoenix had to itemize defensively to go against Bjergsen, so he was a Merc Treads, Nashor's Tooth with a Blasting Wand Azir, not the guy who jumps in and crushes you with his ultimate. And those small moments of damage combined with the locket from Dyrus left everyone at a sliver.
Yeah, and it's not even just the locket. The Frozen Heart completed as well for Dyrus. He's bringing 2 auras to this team fight battle, plus his ultimate, another basically an aura, whereas Quas is building completely for selfish tank stats.
Yeah, the fights, it's only going to get worse from there. The Frozen Heart hadn't been completed at the time of that fight, but at least they had the locket. I mean, that's the type of game-changing fight that can cost you a series. There's been a couple of those moments for Team Liquid in this series. The Super Mega Death Rocket that stole Baron, the poor teleports in the last game, and then this last fight where everyone is at a sliver. They need to be so strong mentally to come back from those moments.
Also, Piglet was only able to get auto attacks off on all of the tanks. Santorin only had to take 1 before he flashed out, knowing that he was very vulnerable to Evelynn, having not built armor. That's why he initiated and then immediately flashed away as soon as he got the tumble out. From that point on, Piglet could only get a couple autos on Alistar with the ulta, and so a lot of that damage was negated.
It was definitely a weird fight. He condemned Alistar away, and that was still the closest target for him. Unfortunate situation there to have happen, especially for an AD carry. Seeing Dyrus now, Frozen Heart built, as you said, Jat, on top of that locket that helped out greatly in that fight, mitigate a bit of the damage. And now TSM looking at a 3,000 gold lead. Specials trying to get a bit of coverage onto Baron, clean up the fundamentals before they move on to the next step. TSM with that lead seems very confident about their moves. Good bit of trade of damage here coming in.
That was actually a very precarious situation for Dyrus. He walked right by that wall. If that condemn had tagged the end of the terrain there.
It's probably a good thing that it almost mind gamed Team Liquid into not knowing he was pretty much away from the team. Very dangerous moves. Things you may not think about are just deep path here as Stamina wears the 3rd game of the series. Pretty much coming up on 3 hours practically, with the first one almost being an hour long. We're about 2.5 here overall, including the in-betweens. So it's going to be tough. Got to make the right moves all the time. No room for errors. And right now, Team Liquid is power in numbers. Trying to get it. Good push from Sivir on the top side. Turtle's going to rejoin with the team here. Might be a little scary, though. They don't have vision on him. He should be okay. Team Liquid putting their foot down in the mid lane. Not too much poke coming from Bjergsen on the Orb of Deception. Whoa, Lustboy decides to go in. The communication from the right side. Dyrus is on the bottom. It was Turtle rejoining with the team. Not very much mana onto him. Dyrus goes down, but so does Braum. Specials on the floor. Now Team Liquid are pushing forward. A nice double kill for Piglet as he finds his targets with the help of the rest of the team.
Huge pickup right there, and they're already heading towards Baron. TSM looking like they want to skirt around the outside, but for this, if TSM do try and poke, Bjergsen does not have his ultimate. This is a Blade of the Ruined King Vayne here, gonna melt through it.
In 18 seconds, Maokai could come up, but I don't think they're gonna have that much time. Team Liquid does peel off of the Baron, though stun.
Boom, right into the wall. Eve is down. Santorin had no chance to think about an exit situation. The rest of the team is hoping that they're not gonna go for Baron, and they win out on that.
They sacrifice Santorin to stop the Baron. Team Liquid find themselves another kill, though.
Yeah, series of events go well for Team Liquid right there. Piglet played great at the back of that team fight in the mid lane. The initiation was a little bit slow from TSM. They have Lustboy who goes in because they have the Maokai and the Eve attempting the flank, but it's just delayed. The Headbutt Pulverize doesn't actually combo into anything. By that point, Nautilus Assault knocks up Bjergsen. He can't put off damage. Santorin never goes in with the rest of the team.
That's the key.
And the rest of Team Liquid can kind of death ball through.
Dyrus Twisted Advance went on to dominate rather than Piglet, who was tumbling right next to him. And without that snare, Santorin was not confident in engaging in that fight. So Lustboy and Dyrus go in, Santorin does not, and TSM crumble.
Piglet gets a bit more damages inventory, somehow squeaks by that kind of just zone of no damage he was in for those dragon fights, that middle part of the game. Now 4-1-1, kind of having the result that Turtle had the first game, getting everything in kills after the laning phase. TSM now going to try to assess the situation. Looks like they put everybody towards the top side. They definitely have the wards for it on the entry or escape, so they're going to spend some time here. Or not, just the blue, making sure the blue is safe to get. Even with the minion wave coming up, it's not what they want. It's going to be all about Baron still. There it is. Turtle backs up to make sure On the Hunt is given to the rest of the team. Dominate could be going down first. The Emperor's Divide knocks them back, but that still looks, it could be a follow here. Phoenix, great damage onto Bjergsen. Piglet is definitely still up, making his way into the fight with the rest of the team. Turtle gets grabbed on the anchor toss. Lustboy goes in valiantly to try to save the rest of the team, and I don't know if it's going to help Soldiers move forward. Phoenix doesn't take the slide, and they do get out alive, but great fight by Team.
This team fighting for Team Liquid is really trending them towards a game 4. That was a fight where they started completely out of position. TSM was grouped up and jumped right towards Team Liquid, but Phoenix and Piglet just wrecked with their favorite champions each under their control.
But they're just going to get a dragon out of it. They did use Quas Teleport as well, so TSM now have teleport advantage. And they've got plenty of deep wards leading up to Baron, which is the remaining neutral objective on the map. So Team Liquid definitely happy with their last two team fight victories, but need to be cautious still. Here's the full-on initiation onto Dominate, who gets blown up.
Nautilus had to teleport in, Braum arrived late, but the Nautilus Assault went onto Bjergsen, and Phoenix just locked in the crosshairs and took him down. I also have to note the double lifesteal build from Piglet, now that it's coming together, means you need to put supreme focus on the Vayne if you don't want him running through the rest of the team fight, which puts you in a tough situation since Azir is also on the team and you need to focus him as well.
Exactly. That Azir wall stopped TSM aggression from continuing past the mid lane. They got the dive on to Dominate, but they could only take down the tank. Piglet firing from the other side of the Azir wall.
Yeah. A lot of the cleanses not allowing TSM to follow up on the targets they're actually getting the crowd control on. Definitely a little miscoordination there as that happens and the team is in and out at the same time. Looks like the Sun turret put up in the mid lane gives TSM, or Team Liquid I should say, a bit of a base and safety out here, but it's about the top. A little bit of a misposition there. Team solo mid, maybe they'll take this out.
Yeah, there's also a monster wave down in the bottom lane and no teleport on Quas to go deal with it. So Team Liquid is getting really pressured in right now since Baron is still a viable objective. They're probably going to lose that bottom turret to that giant minion wave, and that minion wave may even continue on if they don't do something soon.
Dominate gets chunked again. Half life going into this fight. He does have plenty of regeneration though using his passive. Now Team Liquid are actually on the other side, and TSM get a bunch of damage on the top turret. Wow, the bottom one. A couple more hits from those ranged minions and it'll go down.
What
Quas is in.
Dance. Team Liquid definitely up against the ropes on this one. That's a choke point they would love Team Solo mid to be in, but TSM is in the lane, able to disengage. They might split up here. This could be dangerous. Piglet does get the chase. There was no reason to split up from the team. Dyrus goes down as well in the I think I can save Wild Turtle situation, and TSM lose 2 for no reason.
3 team fight victories in a row. Will this be the one that Team Liquid get Baron off, though? They're ready and primed for it. Everybody healthy this time.
Also, a Bjergsen ultimate up. He goes right in right away.
In and out. The HP bar straight down on the
That's a
side
hero
of
play
Dominate.
right there.
Huge to stop the Baron once again. Only 2 members were able to do it at Team Solo Mid last time. It just took Bjergsen on this attempt.
Yeah, I overestimated the minion wave in the bot lane. Somehow that turret lived with a sliver, killed the rest of the minions. So TSM didn't even get turret gold for either of the turrets they were propositioning to kill. And Phoenix is just getting more and more powerful. We saw Piglet's chase down now, double lifesteal with the move speed. If it wasn't for that Bjergsen play at the Baron pit, this would be firmly in Team Liquid's hands right now.
Definitely good moments coming from Team Solo Mid as well to keep themselves in this game. The adrenaline is pumping on both sides. 11-11, the closest of this series so far. 35 minutes in. The Dragons mirror last games. 3 for Liquid, 1 for TSM until TSM allowed Liquid to get 4 and then took control of the game themselves. We still got a little time before that happens as Dragon is not up Baron. Very much on the table though. We're going to get it back from Dyrus. His teleport is up. Level 16s are now being hit across the map by the mid laners. Good push by Liquid. A lot of confidence in the mid lane. They knew pretty much they would have that. No reason for TSM to put themselves in a bad
They're setting
spot.
up for a pincer moving here for TSM, though. They had Lustboy on top and Santorin on bottom for the double flank. Here comes the team. They're going to collapse inside, and they've got vision.
Yeah, Eve is actually in position this time for a flank, but
Special. Both of the supports are just getting torn apart right now. They're going to be the deaths in the beginning. Lustboy very close. Flashes to safety. That is huge to keep him up if he can get back into the fight after this. Santorin, however, puts himself too far forward with the HP of the rest of the team. A god hook from Quaz coming in at max range, and Liquid is pushing towards the base.
All right, forget about Baron. 3 times they tried to go after
4
a team
fights now.
fight. Well, never mind. They're going to do it this time. All right, they don't push up mid. They head back towards it once again. They do have vision up on the top side, and they've got plenty of oracles to pop.
I think it's the right choice. Immense amount of wave clear still from Sivir. Baron will help. They'll be good after this. They hope, and so do the fans. What a game so far here in Game 3. Team Liquid looking to keep themselves alive for that first place chance in the NA regionals.
they keep winning these team fights. The Piglet play has been awesome on Vayne this game. So much focus down onto X Special at the start of this fight.
Yeah.
When really the flank should have probably been going in for Phoenix or Piglet. They basically get to free hit. TSM has to run away straight off the bat.
Still can't believe Lustboy lived there. Then Santorin stuck around too long. He didn't have flash. Max range on the hook there from Quas.
That's a max range dredge line right there.
That definitely was. Bjergsen wasn't able to sidestep. But, man, yeah. Team Liquid are even able to focus an Alistar there as they get a pick because of the True Silver bolts from Piglet.
Yep.
But Lustboy lives anyway. Flashes out.
Very, very lucky. Has a bit of that Iron Solari shield as well. Everything needed to get out. Wouldn't say safely, but by the skin of his teeth. So Bjergsen towards the top. Going to start clearing out a few things. Maybe hit a core item for himself. Looks like he's trying to get that loot in his inventory right fast as he heads away from the team. Team now probably has the orders. Stay calm. Don't go crazy. I'll be right back. Team Liquid's going to try to power in numbers his dragon down. It should go down quick, and it should be number 4.
Yeah, second game here, getting up to 4 dragons. This one, though, they haven't had to trade lost team fights in order to get the dragon, making it much more likely that they can push their advantage in order to secure Dragon 5.
The best position Team Liquid have been in all series long for sure. Baron buff now. They can try and close the loop here on the bottom outer turret. Piglet doesn't even wait for the minions.
He knows he can lifesteal that up really quickly.
All these Banshee's Veils, Quicksilver Slashes, and Cleanses, just denying the fact that Team Solo Mid can lock you down once you try to engage. And Team Liquid is free to run around in these fights. It's definitely gotten them great positioning on Phoenix, great peel for Piglet as well. Now onto the inhibitor turrets.
It's up to Turtle to try and wave clear as quickly as possible. While it's dangerous for Vayne to go in there, he's up right at the front lines.
Not much
even with the
do.
Vayne, because of the Azir and the Baron minions, they siege down that turret really quickly. TSM just doesn't have the ability to clear that wave quick enough.
One and done on that. We have seen the bottom turret go down. TSM still able to come out victoriously in that situation. Sun turret goes down. A safe back here for Liquid as they look to push another lane. See what Team Solo Mid can do in this little bit of off time here they have for themselves. See those Zeke's Harbingers icons under Sivir right now. Lustboy has picked that up. Doesn't look like special is technically going that way, but he could with the armor.
Still a pretty new item. Just want to let everyone know, when they have that icon, it means once they attack or do damage for the next 6 seconds, you gain 50% crit.
Oh, they got the Slow Turtle.
Oh, he used the shield at the right time, but still took a lot of damage from Phoenix's Azir. Lustboy should be able to make it out here. The crowd control was already broke from the ult activation, and the following CC is just too much from Team Liquid. They again get a pick for themselves.
And unless TSM has well-constructed, organized initiations that can lock down both Phoenix and Piglet at the same time, they're going to lose these fights. Now they're without their support. That's part of their initiation, but that's a charm.
Yeah, and even then, TSM pretty much have to get a pick to be able to come out ahead.
Boy.
Oh my gosh. Flashes over the wall for a Riptide. Slow the crowd control. Anchor toss hits Bjergsen. It's not something they want, though. They're just forcing him out of his own home. And Team Liquid is inside the base looking to keep this game alive.
Yeah, Phoenix got flashed on in the backside while he was super low by Darius, and I think Piglet saved him with the heal. So just great team fighting and team work coming from Team Liquid right now. 3 dead, they're looking for the win.
It's been a question if Liquid can go through these series with enough strength and mental fortitude. We've seen the reverse sweeps, and it looks like they do have what it takes to keep themselves mentally in the game and physically, pushing in now to the Nexus for a Game 3 victory. Will they be able to get it? Very low health bars in the final attempts of Team Solo Mid, and they may not be able to close out the game right now. We still got time.
They have so much control over this game, though.
Yep. It's
They
gonna be tough
just
for
don't
TSM.
want to blow it on overextending. TSM, if they get back in this, it has to be some crazy Sivir speed boosted picks that they get.
Yeah.
Because Ahri is all about burst damage, and in a long team fight, Phoenix will far outdo him. Piglet as well has been dodging around very easily.
Looks like that will be a Zeke Sonic special. He's got the Glacial Shroud in, help him stay alive a little bit longer if Wild Turtle can get on him, but Team Liquid looking very good at this point. Top lane is what it seems like what they have on the plate. It might be scary here as they reach it together.
You could just go kill him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Piglet on the hunt.
Da-da-da.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you got him.
Wow. Unfortunate you can't just kind of throw the cow in front of something and block it. Special would have been able to save him. That choice. Choice of champion. That's choice of champion. It's not the play of the champion. That's just you have a shield. So 43 minutes in, another pick. We just saw Lustboy go down. His counterpart falls now in the top lane, and it means only more for Team Liquid. 18-12 as they've started to spread that kill score, and the fight goes down. The turret's gone, so this is going to be an easier fight here for Team Liquid. Azir on the backside, soldiers right to Lustboy and Santorin on the back line, and now right over to Bjergsen. Every party target hit by the same member of Team Liquid at the same time, and they're onto the Nexus. We're going to a Game 4. Liquid keeps this semifinals alive, 20-12 as they take down TSM.
Team Liquid able to pull it out. Backs against the walls, facing the 2-0. They go to the Piglet Vein, and Phoenix gets Azir.
Got that Azir.
Yeah, they went back to comfort when it mattered most. They played a great game as well. I also liked Quas's Nautilus really just making it impossible for Bjergsen to pull off any types of assassinations. Even if he could get in on the Azir, he was immediately CC'd and then killed. So Bjergsen could never get close in these games. And finally, Team Liquid is able to transition somewhat of their earlier game advantage into something bigger. That was after they got aced in a dragon fight, though, so this was a clear gut check by Team Liquid, and they passed.
Yeah, a huge gut check, especially mentally. Maybe Phoenix was throwing in some of those jokes, trying to get people laughing as the guy he is for the team, get those spirits up, because it did not look good. Especially, like you said, Quas in the top lane playing very well for the team. 2 plays on Nautilus this split and still able to bring out game-changing plays with a few hooks across the board. Team Solo Mid seemed to falter there at the end. 1 pick on Lustboy, 1 pick on Sivir. Those are on to Wild Turtle. Those are kind of the fundamentals. You say, well, we'll just squeak this out and then get back to the team. Team Liquid was looking for that.
There have been glimpses of some communication breakdowns for TSM in all 3 games.
Yeah.
This time they
That's
were
true.
definitively punished for it, though, because Team Liquid had the late game this time. This team composition had the late game for Team Liquid for the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't have that as Azir.
both sides have kind of had those breakdowns. You know, it cost
Yeah.
Team Liquid game 2 where they had the disjointed Quas up on the other side and nobody else ready for the the flank.
And Azir stays undefeated between these 2 guys. Yeah. So right now we're going to toss it over to our analyst to break down Team Liquid's first win of the series.
Thank you, guys. Liquid pulling it back, backs against the wall, now 1-2 in the series. We've got 2 replays to look at during this, so I want to hop right into it because, again, Team Liquid did find them, not again, rather, but Team Liquid did find themselves down early, particularly showcased in our first replay. Dragon River end up getting aced here for nothing. So we're going to pull this up on your screens. Irene, you can take it away.
So the big part in this is Piglet's positioning relative to the team and what he's able to do. I know he's coming in with a Vamp Scepter. Freak, you probably would wanted to see something else that had crit on it coming into
Ruin
this
King
fight.
Zeal QSS Vamp Scepter is his build.
Yeah, so the early QSS. He does get to QSS and exhaust here, but just count how much he gets to actually get a 3-stack off on people in this fight because he's swapping targets constantly, even though he doesn't have to. So right there, that's the first one. That's only one that he'll get in this fight.
2?
There's
3?
2.
Okay.
Boom, boom.
2?
Now he starts swapping. Goes Dyrus, Lust Boy. Now he's not attacking.
Hiding.
That's your Azir there. Hits 1, 2, swaps. 1, 2, knocked back. And then he swaps target. He doesn't hit Wild Turtle on the final shot. And that would have been the kill right there, solidifying it. And then he walks back in.
Twice.
So his positioning relative to where the threat of Azir was actually way off in this fight. He was standing away from his Azir as if that was an enemy Azir. It was really kind of poor positioning there from Piglet throughout that fight. I really, like, as the game progresses, though, he does get much better about his positioning relative to where Azir is. And he actually, he blew my mind at one point where he's just standing on soldiers. So if you deal damage to Vayne as a melee champion, he's just going to be able to shoot you, and you're taking all the Azir damage, too. And then Azir has a chance to reposition them past. It's really just, as the game progressed, they got much better at playing them out.
Right, and so if we actually transition to our second replay, it actually shows the way this comp is supposed to work. And I really do like Team Liquid's comp, by the way. 3 very heavy frontliners. Ahri and Sivir cannot deal damage through Braum. It's basically impossible. You have to kill him first. And I realized in this game, I think Gragas is my favorite jungler as Vayne, because he does exactly what you want your team to be able to do when you're Vayne. If we can pull that replay up, I actually want to show exactly what I mean. Because Vayne wants to kill the front line, and she wants the back line to get the hell away from her. So if you roll this out, it's going to be a slow motion replay. But watch what Piglet's able to do. Okay, so Azir zones up for a while, right? Can't hit him very much, that's fine. The Evelynn eventually is going to come through. There's actually a bit of a long lead up into this one, but the Evelynn comes through on the flank, and Piglet says, all right, I'm at the front line. Missed by the Lust Boy, that's unfortunate, whatever. But look at this. All 3 of the front line, up on the front side. Maokai can't reach, Sivir can't reach. An isolated Evelynn. Okay, now it's an isolated Dyrus. That's fine. Explosive cast says, thank you very much. I have my own Dyrus to kill. I'm so happy as Piglet. Bjergsen's still in the air. Wild Turtle's running away. The front line buys enough time for Piglet to do whatever he wants to do. He never has to drop auto attacks, and that's the biggest DPS increase on this champion, is if you're threatening enough on the enemy team to make Vayne switch targets, to make her kite back, you drop about 1/4 to 1/3 of her overall damage output as a champion. As soon as she gets the ability to safely hit one guy, damage goes through the roof, she becomes one of the best champions in the game, and the best at killing tanks. And you're golden, because what's Sivir going to do to Braum? What's Ahri going to do to Braum compared to what Vayne does to Maokai?
Well, so you asked for it in the lead up to the game, was looking for them to do something different, to react to what TSM was doing. So 1, they take the Azir away. 2, they go with the top lane Nautilus, the Gragas in the jungle. So actually a lot of changes coming through here for Team Liquid, and more than just, and then the Vayne coming in as well. So across the board, Team Liquid here regrouping for Game 4 now, because they are very much in this series. They made a lot of adjustments. Now the question is, do they have more in their back pocket that they can pull out?
I don't know if we're seeing different things here, but I think they're looking at the right elements here. Team Liquid's early game is actually quite good. Games 1 and 2, clear early game lead. Props to these guys. Next game, they pick a bunch of weak lanes, Azir not counted, and they pick a generally weaker early game jungler, right? Gragas instead of the Elise we're seeing. Vayne into Sivir is actually hard for the early landing phase overall, and they go equal. Team Liquid went equal in lanes they have no business winning. That's pretty damn solid by these guys. Lo and behold, team fights come around as long as they don't screw them up too badly. Team Liquid's golden. And it's like, okay, if these are what you're identifying, that you're out shot calling or out laning in the general sense, TSM early on, and you just transition into team fights, you're great. I think you still have to keep Bjergsen off Azir. Azir, once again, to the most damaged champions in this game. Bjergsen to the most damage to champions on his team, even on Ahri. So this is still an important champion and an important player to lock out. But if TL sees these outputs, I think they're still on pace to just win the next two.
Yeah, and the games are just coming down to team fighting. And when you're running 2-threat comps, it's who's is scaling better because they're all reaching late game. Once again, another 40-plus minute game. I love the adaptation of Liquid to pick up 2 late game carries because TSM's early game is honestly not very punishing at all. I don't think they've had a really substantial gold lead early
which
yet.
is solid. But no, they have had no early gold leads. They're not getting the ganks in. That's Santorin. He plays for Vision. I mean, props again to TSM for getting turrets, but that's it. That's all they're getting.
All right, well, Team Liquid are on the board and will look to build on that, winning Game 4 against TSM. The semifinal action continues after this.
You guys ready to play all 5 games?
I love playing 5 games.
We're going to need to play all 5. Reverse sweep. We have to play all 5.
Special and Dyrus go down at the same time. A quick trade for kills. Lust Boys, the next target. Piglet can't get him. It's the heal coming in.
Look at Azir, look at Azir. Phoenix.
4 on Azir. 3, 2 on.
Nice. Piglet. Cross.
I
Piglet.
W.
Charm in 5.
I'm gonna W him soon. Ready?
I have Charm Flash.
Going now.
Yeah. Nice.
LOL.
Nice. Good job. Nice.
It's going on just me.
Yeah. Friendly.
Okay, Maokai. Maokai, ulted him in.
Yep. Looking for a hook. On Silver.
Nice. So this is going to be an easier fight here for Team Liquid. Azir on the backside. Soldiers right to Lustboy and Santorin on the back line. We're going to a Game 4. Liquid keeps the semifinals alive.